Hi, folks. Welcome back to Curtis Goes Corner. Democratic Socialists pick up House seats. Tout successes despite pushing back within party. Well, they didn't pick up any House seats. Some of them kept the ones they had. So, I just did a video. It's going to be coming out soon. We should stick with Fox. Let them get through this phase, I guess, and we'll see how they end up. But I'm still a huge Fox fan, and I'm also a Tucker Carlson fan. Still am. And I'm also a huge Trump supporter. And sometimes those things are in conflict. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's progress on. AOC has said that progressive policies do not hurt candidates. Democratic Socialist candidates picks up some important wins. Not seats, wins. Seats they already had. In House elections this month, leaders of the party's far left flank are touting those successes to counter a backlash from moderates. Well, of all the people that lost, who were they? They were moderates. And this crap that they were in moderate districts, the socialists, is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. It's great, though, if you're a Republican. They're so in denial. I mean, they're so self-unaware. Any political party or government people besides party I've ever seen. A number of Democratic candidates were backed by Democrat Socialists of America and pushed policies like Medicare for All. By the way, it's not Medicare for All. It's Medicaid for All. Much different and much worse. The Green New Deal defunding police, and abolishing student debt. Now, around here, the local progressive nut bars, they don't call it defunding the police anymore. They say divesting in the police. It's, tomato, schedule. It's the same crap. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Democrat in New York, the leader of the influential far-left group, a freshman congressman known as the Squad, who has only had, is her third year in Congress? And she's the leader already? Wow. So after the November 3rd election, that we also learned that progressive policies do not hurt candidates. All right. Question. Little simple math here. Congressmember Cortez. How many Democratic seats did you have before November election in the House? And how many Republican seats did you have in the House of Representatives before November 3rd? How about now? There's still one undecided, maybe within 100, right here where I live in New York 22. My former Congress member, Claudia Tenney, now the seat is held by Anthony Brindisi, was beheaded, from my understanding, by almost 30,000 votes. Now it's down to like 100 and something because of all these stupid mail-in ballots of the students that live downstate in New York City get to decide who my congressperson is. It's nonsense. But I digress. Unbelievable. Mike Levin, Democrat California, was an original co-sponsor of legislation. He kept his seat, talking about the Green New Deal. Yeah, a Democrat in California. What a shocker. Among the winning progressives was Representative-elect Mondaire Jones, Democrat, New York, with Medicare for All. Sounds like a great deal until you explain it. It's Medicaid for All, by the way. And the Green New Deal, he backs calling to partially defund police departments and abolish cash bail. Okay. Is 80% partial? Is 1% partial? How about everything in between? You're not using the right key word, my friend. It's divest. You've got to sound like you're reinvesting in the community. And the usual progressive leftist wah. Congress must cease all funding that militarizes police forces, repeal the 1994 crime bill that accelerated mass incarceration. Yeah, what do you think President Trump did and you call him a Nazi? Morons. And abolish cash bail, which condemns poor people to pretrial detention, which more affluent people await trial from the comfort of their homes, she wrote in an article in June. Okay. How are we supposed to make you come back to stand trial or appear before a judge? How do we do that? What is the penalty you pay for not showing up? Just being charged with another crime? How many people have outstanding warrants now that local DAs will not go after people because they're ultra-progressives in big cities. You've got to have some kind of option that if you don't come back once we release you, one, you'll go back to jail, and two, you'll pay a penalty. The answer is they don't want that. All right, if you don't want cash bail, then find some property, a car title, anything. Representative-elect Jamal Bowman, Democrat, also another Democrat from New York. Gee, he got elected. What a shocker. Similarly backed the Green New Deal, canceling student debt, offering free college tuition and Medicare, Medicaid for all. I'm going to put a quarter in the swear jar every time I say that. Also calling for shifting funding and resources from the police department. Oh, I love that. That's a new one. Shifting funding in the police forces. See, here's the deal, folks. Let me finish. I'll finish the paragraph, and I'll tell you what they're really up to. Jails and prisons to new agencies designed to protect the public health. They don't want to abolish the police department. They want to be the police department. They tried it here in upstate New York in a small town in Binghamton. Right after I got off of city council, I was a councilman as a Democrat, I'm now a Republican. Human rights commissions, but without subpoena power. Now they want subpoena power. So that means if the progressive group down the street from my store, Old Joy for Me, Citizen Action of New York, ultra-leftists, decide that they want to make me look bad. They'll say, I was in John's store, and they used the N-word. Well, I did not. Appear before the commission. Here's your subpoena. So I'll ignore it because I don't think their authority is even justified, even legal. Guess what? They can come arrest me. The guys with the guns come and handcuff me. That's what they want. And then, of course, there's no evidence to support any of it because it's not true. But then that makes all the news on page one. I wasn't found not guilty or innocent, just insufficient evidence. So the case is still pending, holding for further investigation. Wow. That's what they're going to do to people they don't like. They're going to go after them politically. They did it for me, and I'm only a little store owner. Can you imagine what they'll do to big corporations? My God, my God. He has pushed a reconstruction agenda that includes forming a National Truth and Reconciliation Commission to investigate, document, and assess the federal government's role in America's history of racism. We'll say it's all true. Every single thing they say about America's history is all true. It's in the past. Move on. Move on. An interview with Jacobin, he said there is some stigma associated with the word socialism, even though the current capitalist model we have isn't working for the majority of Americans. And that's why we're the richest, most powerful nation in the world, you idiot. We have a system where we have 3 Americans that own more than the bottom 50% of the country. Yeah. They're mostly the social media monsters that are on your side, you idiot. We have 40 million people living in poverty. Yeah, because the social programs keep them trapped. Keep them trapped. The young girls look all around them and see, hey, listen, I have a kid. I can get my own apartment. And the cycle starts. It's as simple as that. It's ridiculous what Democrats do. It keeps people down. It's so disgusting. I don't even want to get into it. We have 15.5 million children living in poverty. What we have now is not working for the masses. If you want to call me a socialist, then call me a socialist. Oh, yeah. How about giving these people jobs, which they were getting, by the way, before COVID? The lowest unemployment for blacks and Hispanics in the history of the country, ever. Oh, my God. Representative-elect Cori Bush, Democrat from Missouri. Let me guess. It's St. Louis. What a shocker, a D1. Has also pushed policies such as the Green New Deal and abolishing immigration enforcement. Abolishing immigration enforcement. Anybody can wander into the country whenever they want to with no repercussions. Are you ready for that? Your wages were just starting to go up before COVID. With all these people in the country, they're going to drop right off the cliff. It's simple economics, supply and demand. When there are a lot more people that worked in their jobs for, the cost, a cost goes down. It's just simple. Well, at the same time, creating a $15 minimum wage and then to right-to-work protections for workers. Think of that for a minute. They want to get rid of right-to-work. That means I don't want to join a union. I want to be an employee. I want to be productive. I want to do my job, maybe advance, maybe get a raise. Nope, sorry, you have to join a union whether you want to or not. Think of the teachers' union. Look at the damage they've caused. She raised eyebrows with a proposal to fund social services by defunding not just the police, but the military. Oh, Lord. So they're saying these social agendas aren't hurting Democrats. You know what? I love this article. These people are so self-unaware. It's amazing. In 2022, they are going to get slaughtered. As they infight amongst themselves, the left is going to take over the party. And moderate Democrats are going to go, to hell with this. Voters and congresspeople. If you're having a bad day, just think of all the social services we're going to fund after we defund the Pentagon, she tweeted in October. So these are the people that the average American is fine with. No. Meanwhile, the original members of the squad, Representatives Cortez, Rasha Tlaib, Omar, and Presley, all comfortably won re-election in the races despite well-funded challenges. Yeah, because they're in a plus D. They're in a D plus 20 district. Are you kidding me? Unbelievable. A number of local races and referendums on local issues also passed, notching further wins for the party's far left wing. In San Francisco, they consider this mainstream America. Voters passed an overpaid executive tax that adds a 0.1% levy on companies whose executives earn 100 times more than the average worker, and partially defunded police by nixing a staffing law that required the department to maintain at least 1,971 full-time officers. She considers San Francisco mainstream U.S. That's how clueless they are. Voters in Portland. There's another bastion of conservatism. Jesus, look at what the hell happened in Portland in the last year. Decriminalized possession of heroin, methamphetamine, LSD, and painkiller oxycodone and other drugs. Decriminalized means you're supposed to just pay a fine. Should they consider this mainstream America? A number of candidates on the left, including AOC herself, were backed by the Democratic Socialists of America. The group states that democracy and socialism go hand in hand. Jesus, are these people that clueless? Democracy and socialism go hand in hand. Socialist states in the past and currently are the least democratic states and countries that ever existed. All over the world, the idea of democracy has taken root. The vision of socialism has taken root as well. Everywhere but the United States. Yeah. Yeah, do you think? Are you people that clueless? But the group's promotion of socialist and radical policies has sparked anger from more centrist Democrats who say the messaging from far-left colleagues pushed away moderate voters and independents. A Democratic source told Fox News, Fun News, earlier this month that members on a caucus call complained that progressive rallying cries cost some moderates their seats. We should have one big, but the defund the police issue, the Green New Deal, those issues killed our members. Having everybody walk the plank on qualified immunity with the cops. That just hurt a lot of members. No one's taking responsibility for it. But Cortez and Omar have pushed hard on that claim. So the whole progressivism is bad argument just doesn't have any compelling evidence that I've seen. One of the biggest bloodbaths the Democrats took in decades. And she thinks she won. That's why these guys are doomed. Absolutely doomed. When it comes to defunding socialism attacks, people need to realize they are racial sentiment attacks. You're not going to make that go away. As soon as the election was over, we have seen the pundits of some of the leaders from the Democrat Party, even some of our colleagues who are freshmen, talk about us getting back to basics, saying, like the squad, all of you have to stop talking about everything you talk about because we need to get back to basics, Omar said recently. So I was confused, she continued. Yeah, no kidding. I'll give her honesty. She's confused. She continued, I thought, because I thought it was more basic than fighting for clean water. What is more basic than fighting for a breathable planet? What is more basic than trying to make sure we all get health care for people? These guys are doomed, absolutely doomed. And I take great joy of that. But here's the thing. It's taking other people down with them, and I don't mean elected people. It's going to hurt the country. So we're going to have to just stand up straight, stiffen our backs, and put up with this crap for the next 2 years, if there is a President Biden, and pray the Senate holds. We'll just have to put our heads down in the wind and get through this hurricane for the next 2 years, and they're going to be slaughtered. Going to be slaughtered. And it'll be interesting to see when the Democrats are slaughtered, and they will, who these mental pygmies are going to blame. They're going to blame their own fellow Democrats like they're doing here, because they're not really Democrats. They never were. But their positions and how they see things does not fit well with the American people. And around here in upstate New York, there's a lot of progressives like this that attach themselves to the Democrat Party because they can't win without it. They've hijacked the party. Folks, if you're a Congress member right now and you're a moderate Democrat, get the hell out of the Democrat Party before it's too late. Anyway, folks, that's my 2 cents. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.